What's up, you guys? Marty Schwartz here from GuitarJams.com, ready to rock with you guys with a classic. Now, I've got the guitar in drop D tuning, so that's just lowering this first string here down one whole step, and then we're ready to rock. So we'll zoom in and break it down, a bunch of cool shapes that sound fancier than they are difficult, which I think is good. Also, if you want to get deeper into learning guitar, like really learning how to play, I've got a bunch of lesson programs at my website, GuitarJams.com. I got a link for it down there, and I really appreciate that extra support. I really do, including the social media stuff down there, all the links. Thank you. All right, let's zoom in and do it. Here we go. To just drop D. The other thing to get that effect, that's a Leslie speaker, like a spinning speaker that they use for organ. I've got a Line 6 M9, multi-effect stomp pedaler. It's got a rotary speaker effect on it. I picked it, and it sounds pretty close. So what I just played there was what we're going to call the verse. And it's going to be a lot of, like 1 and 2 finger kind of shapes, which is cool because it sounds really exotic, but most of it is pretty easy to play. Okay, so we're in drop D tuning, like I said, and we're going to bar the 5th fret. And this is like a G sus4, like a G suspended chord, but with the tuning, it's more of like one of those alternate tuning, memorize the shapes kind of thing. So we're barring the 5th fret, and we're going to go down the strings and back. Just like that. No pattern. Pinky then is going to go to the 8th fret of that low string that's been dropped down to D, and we're going to play the starting point of that pattern, but we don't go back down. So it would be, look at my right hand. So the first one, second one, pinky comes down on the 8th fret, and you just go up to the G. So those are the first 2 chords. Next, we do a bar on the 3rd fret, and then we get our pinky to the 5th fret of the G. And we're barring that, and then you're going to do that same pattern as the first chord, but on the very last note of the pattern, it's going to be open, not the 3rd fret. So watch what that looks like. One more time. So from the top, next one, then the same chord as before, but just a half step down. So now we're barring the 2nd fret, and pinky is on the 4th fret of the G. Okay. To the G, don't roll it back down. Then the open again as a lead-in note to the 1st fret bar. And you do that pattern exactly like the first one. You hold the whole thing down and you're picking this. Okay, from the top. And obviously I'm just picking up here so you can see them both together. Normally picking down there. Okay, then finally an open and then middle finger on the 3rd fret of that A, then open D, and then with the index finger, 2nd fret on the G. And that's a D7, but with no 3rd in it. And you're going to play that pattern just like you did that one before, where you go up and down. Okay, from the top. 3rd fret now. Open 2nd fret. Open 1st fret. Open. Up and back. Then a little, which is going to be, looks a little weird, but it's not too bad. We're going to cover the 5th fret, okay, the 5th fret right here, with the middle finger, ring finger, pinky. And with the picking, we go down, but then back to the top string. So look at my right hand. Then middle finger comes off, index goes to the 3rd fret right there. Same pattern. So put them together. Then another index bar on the 6th fret now, and we just go the top 3 strings. And that is the verse. Now keep in mind the intro is that exact thing, but just without this little walk down thing. The walk down thing happens when the singing starts. Okay? So now let's play that entire verse pretty slow one more time. All right, now the chorus. And the fun thing about this chorus, which is also a pattern in lots of songs, is it's mostly the same chords, but kind of put in a different combination or, you know, a different melody, but it's still kind of the same chords that make up that key. So it starts with the 1st fret bar all the way across, back to, you know, obviously same pattern as we did before. Then open, and this same chord again. But instead of, you know, we go back, you know, up and back on the strings, but instead of hitting the last open string, we're going to hit an open G string. So watch, we hit the open D because it's been tuned down. Hear it with the effects. Okay. And then that same thing too. This thing. Now it goes to something different, and it's a B flat major chord, which is when you bar the 1st fret, the root's on that 1st fret of the A string, and then the 3rd fret. We have to go that same pattern, but starting on the A string pick. Check it out. starts over again. And then another thing here, which is the same bar chord as the B flat, but up a whole step, so that we call that a C. So we hit the chord first, and then with my pinky, I'm going to hammer on pull off between the 6 and 5 on the B string. And then up a whole step. And you can hit the open string with that D chord, which is this, if you are feeling like it. So here is, I'll turn the effect off. I'm going to play the chorus again for you. Alright, so now let me show you the upper register stuff, which is super fun. Both of these guitars can play together. This upper register starts on an offbeat, so you would count it off 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And so I'm barring the 12th fret on the top 3 strings here, picking on the G string down and back. So that's the first chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, so now let's get the second one. Ring finger on the 12th fret of the G, middle finger on the 11th of the B, 10th on the high E, and you just pick each note one time. So you don't go back down. The first one you do, the second one you don't. 1. Okay, the next one, we're going to bar now the top 3 strings on the 10th fret, but then barring with my pinky the 13th fret of the B and the high E. So it looks like this, and we're going to play that first pattern. Watch when I put all those together. Start with the first one. 1. New one. So it goes back to the first one after that, but we're going to slide into it. So I'm sliding on that G string from the 10th to the 12th, and then barring that 12th and going up. Okay, now let's put all of those together. The first one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now that first pattern again, and I'm going to play it this way, middle finger on the 12th fret of the G string, and then I'm barring the 11th fret of the B and the high E. So it's like a little major triad. I would think of this as E flat major triad. And you're going to do that first rhythm pattern. So let's put that together. First one. one. Okay, there's a weird finger switch here, but this is the easiest way that I could do this. So I'm going to take where my middle finger was, and I'm going to put my ring finger there, and then get my index to cover the 10th fret of the B and the high E. Okay? See that switch? So that last move is the first chord again of the sequence, and we go do G, B, high E, back to G. Then following that index finger, we're going to slide the index down to the 10th and then get our ring finger on the 12th of the B, and then we're barring the 10th of the high E with our index. So we have 10, 12, 10. Okay, so same pattern as before, which would be G, B, E, G. And then the final chord, it's an A flat major triad, and it's ring finger on the 13 of the G, pinky on the 13 of the B, index on the 11 of the high E. And just those top three. Okay, let's do that whole sequence real slow. Check it out. All right, so the final, at the end of the song, I'm going to teach you this little riff. We're going to do that, but first, when he's rocking out, it keeps repeating this little rock section. It's normally in the song where we went C up to D. It goes like this. It's a C, down to B flat, up to D. You can do them as power chords or major chords. Sun, back old sun, won't you come back old sun, won't you come back old sun, rock old sun, won't you come back old sun. So just C, down to B flat, up to D, won't you see, down to B flat, up to D, won't you see. Okay, and then we need that little lick, 3, 2, 0 on the A string with lots of gain. You know, if you can, get a lead guitar tone there. 3, 2, 0, 3. But the 3 we're going to slide up from the 2. So, and this is on the A string. 3, 2, 0, 3. Sliding up to that 3. 3, 2, 0, 3. And then on the E string, which is tuned down to D, we're going to go 5, 4, 3. So check it out. 3, 2, 0, 3, 5, 4, 3. And this is like a, it's like a G11 is what we're going to call that. Really, these are shapes with a drop D. You know, just cool shapes and drop D, I think is the vibe. as opposed to the theory of it, but it is a G with this 11 here, or the 4th in the bass. And so what you would do is you'd just bar that 3rd fret and get your middle finger on the G string, 4th fret. So 3rd fret barred, and then 4th fret on the G. All right, there was. Hope you got something from it. Thank you so much. Check out my website down there. I really appreciate that extra support, and I also hope to see you in another video real soon. See you later.